We're talking about the river, and now we're going to talk about what's going to be new on the river, what we can look forward to. Kim Sugart is here with us today in the studio. She's with Visit Tri-Cities. She organizes or sort of leads the River Shore Enhancement Council here in the Tri-Cities. What kinds of projects can we look forward to?
Well, again, a number of the partnering jurisdictions, and that would be the ports and the cities, have projects that they're working on. So, for example, at the Port of Kennewick, after boat races this year, they are going to be improving the docks, where the boat launch on the west side of the island. They're also going to be adding restrooms. There currently aren't restrooms by the boat launch area, so they'll be adding those. So those are things that boaters can really look forward to. Also, just some of the improvements they have made. Duffy's Pond, which used to be kind of a backwater area behind the island, they've improved that. They've worked with Fish and Wildlife Service and the Corps of Engineers. They've extended the trail from the Sacagawea Heritage Trail to kind of have a little extension loop. So great places for people to gather and walk and look at natural habitat. Because they have left it in somewhat a natural state. So they're working on that. The City of Richland, as I stated before, is going to be making some improvements to the marina as far as services for boaters, adding stations, water stations, power stations. So, and then in addition, the River Shore Enhancement Council collectively is starting to work on wayfinding, which was a recommendation that came up as part of the River Shore Master Plan, which was established in 2013. And also came up again as we did community branding, that we need to make it easier for people to know what resources are available, how to get to them, and if we do that, if we make it easier for people to either get from the trail and from the shorelines into our downtown areas, or from the downtown areas back to the shorelines, it becomes an economic benefit for our community, because people will have more time and they'll understand what the amenities are, where they can spend their money, where there are places to eat, where there are places to sit and have a glass of wine as you enjoy the sunset along the Columbia River.
Oh, I think you're in the tourism business, aren't you?
Yeah, I write brochures for a living.
Yeah, very good. Wayfinding. So, are we just talking signs, kiosks? What's the full range of that?
It's as you said, it's multifaceted. It does include signs, but it also includes kiosks. It even includes what we call gateways. A good example of that is Port of Kennewick again has done that. As you drive onto the island, there's a gateway that's been built, so it's like, ta-da, you've arrived. There'll be more of those popping up along the shorelines and in the community, so that people kind of understand I'm at downtown Richland, or I'm at Vista Field, giving you a sense of arriving at a place, at a community, at a gathering place. And so that's kind of halfway with its foot in River Shore Enhancement, and then halfway in the branding efforts that we're undertaking as well. So. And then, as you said, kiosks, and then electronic technology, whether it's people being able to use QR codes or access applications that would have maps that, again, make it easier. Wayfinding is all just about making it easier for people to find where they're going, making it intuitive. And for our community, one of the problems we have is getting people off the highway, because you can go south of town and totally miss the Tri-Cities, or you can go north of town and not even stop here. So we need to let them know what resources we have available, so that they get off of the highway and come spend their money in our communities.
Spend their money here.
Yep, that's what we're all about.
Well, I'm back to the trails again. Obviously, you'll be directing people to the trails as well, but I've certainly seen a significant increase of people, and I assume they're local people, using the trails around the river. A lot, I mean, bikers and, cyclists and walkers and joggers, just, everybody's getting out there. It's really nice. It's
the
a
trail
beautiful
is
view.
very busy, especially on weekends or on evenings, and I think some of the recreation that's popular right now helps that a little bit. Biking's very, very popular, but even things like kayak rentals and stand-up paddle boards, we now have rental stations where you can drive your car up. You don't have to haul it down to the river. The companies do that for you. So you can rent a paddleboard or rent a kayak, or you can take a lesson. There's a company right now that you can do yoga on a paddleboard. So all of that just draws people down to the shoreline, and as that happens, it naturally becomes a place people want to be, because if you don't feel like paddleboarding or kayaking, you can watch somebody else learn, and that can be pretty entertaining as well.
Very entertaining. Well, what do we know about attracting out-of-town people here to do things that are river related?
Well, one of the benefits we have, of course, is our weather, and especially in this time of year, in the spring and in the fall, on the west side of the I-5 corridor where a lot of our state's population is located, they just don't get the weather that we do. So people will come over, and also the wide open spaces. One of the best attributes of our community, I think, and you've stated this previously, is that the Columbia River flows right through our community. And some of the improvements that have been made make the water more accessible. So take Spokane, for example. It also has the river running through the community, but the way that it's designed and the way they have it, you can't really access the water. You can't just put a kayak in downtown Spokane like you can here in the Tri-Cities.
That's true. Just about any place you can put a boat in the water within about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
That I like.
We're pretty fortunate in our access to the Columbia River, that's for sure.
Yeah. What about any swimming areas? Let's just go there for people that don't have boats. I mean, just protected swimming areas. It's not a good thing for people just to be swimming in the river. I mean, obviously people do, but protected swimming areas are, and with sand laid down and that type of thing. Any new developments there in the future?
It is called for in the River Shore Master Plan. One of the challenges with that is that the river, and again going back to the wildlife, if you want to create like a jetty or a barrier, that affects the flow
Right.
for the fish. It creates warmer water, so you have to be very careful and very thoughtful about how you do that. If you create a lagoon, Two Rivers has a wonderful area for swimming. That's probably, I would think, it's enclosed and you're not along the river, there's not current. But that's one of the challenges as having the river as our body of water, is that we have current. So in order to make it really, really good for swimming, somehow you've got to create a jetty or a protected area. And then that, you have to be very, very careful again of the impact that it has on fish, wildlife, and other species as well.
Mm-hmm. That lagoon out there at Two Rivers is a bit dangerous, though. It has some major drop-off areas, and people don't know about that. And that's how they end up drowning. So
hopefully
that's not
everybody's
good.
wearing their life vests. And
Yes.
But I do know that that's obviously they've had some accidents there.
All right. Wow. Well, okay. I'm feeling pretty good now.
Ready to hit the river?
I am feeling good about hitting the river, and to know that our future here, I just, I can't believe how much progress is being made here in the Tri-Cities in so many directions. I'm just, I guess I kind of do that, but just by doing this interview show and talking to people, there's just an explosion of activity in the Tri-Cities. It's really fun to live here.
Yeah, there's, whether it's, the family fishing pond or the playground of dreams, we're so fortunate in that we have so much shoreline real estate that,
Yes.
if you want to keep it natural, we have plenty of space for that. If you want some commercial development, there's areas that we can do that. Disc golf is very, very popular. We've reserved some area along the west end of Columbia Park. The Reach is a fabulous addition to the shoreline area, with the Reach Interpretive Center being just off the shoreline. So progress is sometimes slow, but if you start enumerating all of the different projects, we really
Yes.
are making progress. It's just not at a rapid pace because you have to be very thoughtful. It's a wonderful resource, and it has to be protected or at least managed thoughtfully, because if we mismanage it, then the opportunity would be lost. So.
I understand that. All right, Kim Sugar, thank you so much from Visit Tri-Cities. We've learned a lot about river shore enhancement. But you know what? Let's talk about boating up next. Dustin Major is here, and he is with Northwest Marine and Sport. And we'll learn about what kinds of boats people like to put on this river here, and we'll learn more about it. All right, stick around. This is News Talk 870.